This is the Basingstoke Canal. Those are two words that probably don't inspire massive bubbling waves of excitement in a lot of people, but I like canals. I can't really speak for Basingstoke because I've never really been there, but canals gel quite nicely with the sort of riding that I rather like. They're generally easy to ride, being pretty level, and they're easy to navigate. You just follow the water, really. Now, this one used to start right back in the centre of Basingstoke, but the first 5 miles or so have been lost to development. So I'm picking it up just south of Hook, where it disappears never to return into the Greywell Tunnel. And from here, I'm going to follow it east towards London. These days, canals are just pleasure routes, lines to be followed on foot or by bike or by boat. And it's really easy to forget that what they were designed as was core pieces of industrial infrastructure. And they're old. This one was opened in 1794 to take timber from Basingstoke to the docks at East London. And it's weird because it kind of goes against everything that springs to my mind when you say industry. You know, this feels calm, peaceful, green, and rather pleasant. But when you think about it, and you start to look at the levels of engineering, the vast financial fortunes that must have been poured into this to make it what it is, it kind of starts to make a bit more sense. You know, just a basic stretch of canal is pretty bloody impressive as an engineering feat, but then you start to come across locks, cuttings, bridges, tunnels, aqueducts, viaducts. It's mad, just the effort that went into putting this little stretch of water here all those years ago. One of the other nice things that comes out of the age of canals is just that they were built before a lot of other stuff, which means that much of the modern development that came after has had to fit itself into the spaces around the canals. And this means that now they and their towpaths tend to go between the industrial estates, under the motorways, behind the residential streets, and just to avoid a lot of that modern nonsense which might otherwise damage your calm on a ride like this. Quite often as well, they drag with them a little ribbon of green, you know, a strip of trees along the edge, flowers on the banks, wildlife in the water. It's great. What's not to like about a little ribbon of green through the modern world? here's a point of very casual interest. This is where I first set eyes on the Basingstoke Canal. This is where me and Alan crossed it on the last day of our King Alfred's Way ride a few weeks back. I'd known it was here, I'd seen it on maps, but I'd never seen it in real life. And we stopped here for a breather, and I looked off up that lovely tree-lined towpath and thought, yeah, it looks like it's probably worth a ride. Hence me being back here today, riding it and enjoying it very much. I'll put links down below to that King Alfred's Way ride if you haven't seen it. It was a cracker. I've never been much of a one for research on these rides, but I did read the Wikipedia page for the Basingstoke Canal over coffee this morning, and one of the things that jumped out at me was that the second in command engineering fellow who worked on it was a Jessup, William Jessup. I don't think he was any relation to me, but I read his Wikipedia page anyway. Apparently he was a very well respected engineer of the era, and a thoroughly decent chap as well by all accounts, which is rather nice. He also built the Cromford Canal, which is the one that I started out my Pennine Bridleway ride on. So yeah, some little connection there. I'll whack the Pennine Bridleway playlist down below if you haven't seen it. I might actually make a playlist of just canal rides as well, which I'll put down there. That'll be fun. Classic bit of British cycling infrastructure there. Steps on a cycle path. Brilliant, thanks. And that's that. Without any great fanfare, the trail ends, as is often the case. This is where the Basingstoke Canal pours into whatever this body of water is down here. I think we're sort of somewhere near Weighbridge. I'm not really sure. This is as far as I looked at the map. So I think I've given some good reasons why canals aren't boring, right? I will eat a few of my own words and say that they're not perfect riding. Because of all the things that I gave as good points, they're quite busy, and the towpath is often quite narrow, so you have to do an awful lot of ringing your bell and saying good morning and apologising and being very British. That's about the only downside though, really. Oh, and I suppose they're quite hard to film. I apologise if lots of the shots of this have just been trees next to a canal. Through my eyes, it's all very beautiful and every mile is different, but it's not so easy to capture those details when you're just a numpty with a mobile phone. But I tried my best. And from here, I have to find my way to a train station. I think Virginia Water, I believe, is in that direction, and get a train back to Reading. So yeah, a little nonsense video about nothing really. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope the next one is a bit longer and a bit more exotic, but you take them where you find them. So for now, bye now.